transportation in the Marshall Islands, they use taxis. Most people don't. A lot of them do have cars, but most people just use taxis. It's, I think, 75 cents a ride. And you just go to the road and you just call them over and they'll stop by and pick you up. And that's how everybody gets around, is mostly is taxis. They work, a lot of people work for the government there. Other people work in what they call manwias, which means they're like little shops on this, like little shack shops on the side of the road where you can go buy food, toiletries, snacks, just anything you want in those little shops. People work there. They use the taxis, they work in the government, or they have restaurants. They do have some restaurants there that they work in. The manwias, the little shops on the side of the road, missionaries like to stop and get ice cream or something from there, you know, soda pop. So they'll stop there or work there, and they have gas stations that people work in. They've got the power plant that a lot of my investigators worked in. So there's not too many options of jobs, but those are some of the main ones. As far as living conditions go, or their lifestyle, most people, you know, they'll wake up in the morning and they'll have Marshallese pancakes. I forget the name. It's either Namo Namo or Namu Namu. I think it's Namo Namo. And they're delicious. They're better than American pancakes, I think. So they're my favorite. But they'll have that a lot of the times in the morning. And then lunch and dinner, rice with some kind of meat. Hot dogs, which are my favorite, usually uncooked. Or chicken or fish that they've caught themselves. Or tuna. A lot of times they'll have tuna, which is my favorite. Sashimi, which is just raw tuna. They chop it up, and that's delicious. It's my favorite. But that's a lot of times what they eat. They eat a lot of ramen as well. They don't usually have furniture. We sit on the ground. When we teach our lessons, you sit cross-legged or on the ground. Most people usually don't have furniture, so that was something for me to get used to, but I actually enjoyed it at the end of my mission, you know. I got used to it, accustomed to it. So yeah, I really came to love that culture and those people and the way that they live and even what they eat. It's now my favorite food. So they've got 2 shopping centers there. One's called Payless, and that's in like the city. Well, they're both in the city side, but that's closer to a city called Rita, and a lot of missionaries go there. Or you can go to K&K. Those are kind of the 2 competing markets there, and missionaries go there on their P days. And yeah, they're actually really pretty good stores, grocery stores. They're large, and so I remember when I was picturing before my mission the Marshall Islands, I didn't think that they would have something that nice there, or I didn't know what to expect, that they would have such a nice supermarket there where you can go and get pretty much anything you want. So it's nice.
I used to think the typical missionary went door to door, knocking their door approach, everything like that. That's what I thought a missionary was going to do, and that's what I thought we were going to do. You will hardly knock on a door, if at all, on your mission in the Marshall Islands. I knocked on 1 door, and we did it because it said in Preach My Gospel as a companionship activity to practice a door approach. And so we did that 1 time. You just don't do it. Like, they don't have addresses there. They have just like huetos or like villages, and then they have houses, little shacks, whatever they can muster to form houses. So it's nothing like it's not organized at all. So, you know, when you have your area book and you're filling that in, you will describe where a house is. It's the greenhouse next to the big May tree, you know. That's literally how you'll explain it. And then you say, oh, it's 3 houses over from this blue house. So, you know, no addresses. So you're not really doing door-to-door proselyting. A lot of street contacting. You'll talk to people on the street, in stores, with neighbors, you know, and that's how you'll do it. You'll get yourself out there by just talking to people. And it won't be a very formal introduction. You won't say like, oh, you know, we're missionaries for the Church of Jesus Christ. You know, it's nothing like that. It's more like, you know, very casual. No, I don't want to say casual. That sounds bad, but very more friendly, not as intrusive, right? But very friendly. You're just developing a relationship, becoming their friend initially. It's very easy to get baptisms. And when you go out, don't think that your success is measured on baptisms, because I say that because retention, people falling away, so retention is very, very hard because people go less active very easily out there. That is due to previous religions they came from, the pressures from leaving that church. Members of that church are telling them that the LDS church is bad and Joseph Smith's fraud and all these things, so they feel pressure and they go back to their old ways. People leave or become less active because of old habits, such as drinking and smoking and immorality. They are very pressured into doing things, which is why they're a lot of them are baptized, because they're I don't want to say they're pressured, but they're quick to believe, which is wonderful. They're quick to believe and accept a message, but at the same time, it's hard to retain members, but it is possible. So that's one thing you'll be doing, is a lot of rescuing. You'll go with members, you'll talk to less actives, and build a ward with less actives, get them on their feet, and then you're almost helping the members do missionary work, right? And you're kind of facilitating that. You're proxying in for them coming into the church, but the members are doing a lot of the missionary work, which is the best way to do it, in my opinion. And then, you'll work a lot with, with the ward councils, because the church is very young there, so you kind of have to do a lot of the heavy lifting with all of that. It can be stressful at times, to be honest, but they're very willing people to do what they need to do. They may not know, but they're willing to learn and to work hard. So like I said, you'll do a lot with the members, and do a lot of rescuing, because there's a lot of retention effort there. So